Well, I really like Artist Alley. To me, Artist Alley is where you find the most creative people at the cons, besides the cosplayers walking around. But in Artist Alley, you usually get a good mix of like really like graphic artists, along with you could have comic book artists and comic book writers. You could have crafts people making various crafts and stickers and keychains. And then you have writers because we're like, well, hey, we're artists too. And so we need to show our wares someplace. I believe you and Ingrid were up in the small press section up on one of the major floors. And when I was up there, wow, it was busy. There was a lot of people walking around, and that was good. Artist Alley, depending on the show, can be really, really good. I know over the years, as I've gone to more and more shows, both as a fan and as a writer, Artist Alley is that's like the highlight usually of the shows. Long time ago when I went to these cons, I wanted the big exhibit hall, the main hall. That was my focus. Nowadays, it's Artist Alley. That's where I go because I want to find that unique artwork, the unique story, the unique writer, whatever it is. And all the people there, they're your indies. They're your people trying to make a living at it, and they're doing it not the easy way. They're doing it the hard way, and they're being creative and they're making it happen. And
Yeah, and
so,
they're the content engine. And just to give context, by Artist Alley, you mean you have a centralized neighborhood, if you will, at the Comic Cons, at these big events where artists, content creators are all clustered together. And at LA
yes,
Comic Con, Artist Alley was in the refurbished parking lot, basically. So the
correct.
parking
It was
lot
basically
underneath the main,
underground.
main building, you had the stripes and the parking aisles demarcated, and then they set up booths in rows, and each booth had a sketch artist, a graphic artist, and writers such as yourself, all clustered in that one area. And that's in comparison to and complementing essentially a lot of the other vendors and booths that did everything from sell tchotchkes to have big franchise promos like the Stan Lee virtual Marvel experience and the like.
Yep, yep. The yeah, and that just those the underground section was that I think that's typically where LA Comic Con or LA Convention Center likes to put their artist alley, although it will change from show to show. But that's the place where I like to be.
I kind of liked it. I thought, the essence of all the stuff, what makes it all happen are content creators. And in our society right now, we put a lot of emphasis on the forward face of movies, of science fiction production. So it's all about the stars, it's all about the technical wizardry. And people often forget that, it begins with writers like ourselves who have the idea, who execute it, create a narrative, create the characters, and then it gets interpreted in all sorts of different repurposed ways, everything from graphic novels to big blockbuster movies. But the heart of it is real content, and I kind of liked how it was in the basement. It's like, all that
It's kind of like
creative, all
you're
that
on the
all
boots
that
on the
creative
ground,
energy
right?
coming
The
up,
boots on,
right?
you're getting as close to the creators as possible. Literally, some of the booths, the artists will be there drawing as they're waiting for
Oh,
people
many
to
of
come
them
up and
are.
talk to them.
That
Yeah.
was
So
great. That was great. And it
I wish I
reminded
could
me,
write that way, but that doesn't work for me that way.
yeah, it's a little bit harder. You're sitting there like, editing your next chapter. That doesn't have quite the charm of somebody in real time sketching and drawing. It's much more aesthetically pleasing and frankly more interesting. Probably because an uninflected image hits you immediately, whereas you need to kind of peer and go like, read what the hell we might be writing. So,
Right.
from a performance vantage point, it's good to be an artist, a physical artist rather than a writer down in Artist's Row. But
Yep. Yep.
but it's a good time to be had by all.